So I found this post on the Poke Investing subreddit that I wanted to share with you all. Here, a Pokemon investor decided to sell their real investments to invest into Pokemon instead. So in this video, I'm going to give my take and thoughts on this. Was this a good decision or not? Let's take a look at what happened. I took $1,000 out of VOO and put it into prismatic boxes. So, VOO is the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, if you didn't know. So they decided to sell stocks for Pokemon boxes. So when you just think about, okay, that alone, it doesn't really sound good, right? Selling a real sort of traditional investment for Pokemon product. It does kind of sound that way a little bit bad, but let's see what their reasoning was. The title says it all. I think that VOO, SPY but lower fees, is overvalued looking at the PE ratio of it compared to historical marks. That being said, a couple of weeks ago, I went to every Sam's Club in my city, some twice, and picked up 16 Prismatic Evolutions, Lucario, and Tyranitar EX Premium Collection boxes. It ended up being just under $1,000, which I replaced my bank account from my stock portfolio. Currently, I'm up 93% on market price according to TCG Player. However, most on Marketplace are listed a little bit lower than that. All in all, I'm proud of my investment and wondering how long I hold these bad boys. Has anyone else done something like this? So let me just answer this question on the bottom here. Has anyone else done something like this? Have I done something like this? No. I've not sold any of my stocks for Pokemon, to be honest with you guys. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but here's what I'm going to say. So like I said, just generally speaking, I mean, the whole idea of selling a traditional investment, that's obviously a lot less risky in ETF, for Pokemon, in that way, it doesn't seem good, right? But here's what I'm going to say. Let's say, I mean, it really is, dependent on the percentage here. I mean, what is $1,000 to their entire portfolio, right? Did they take, okay, let's say they had $2,000 invested into stocks, and then they took $1,000 out to invest into Pokemon. In that way, maybe is that the best idea? Probably not, because you just took out 50% of your investment in traditional things like stocks for Pokemon. Is that the best thing ever? Maybe not, right? But let's say they had 10,000 in their, maybe in the VOO, and they took out 1,000. Okay, it's only 10%. That's not a big deal. If they had 100,000, I don't think there's any problem. So it really depends, in my opinion, on, okay, the percentages, okay, how much did they take out versus how much they actually had in total. Is it a huge portion of their traditional investments they took out for Pokemon? Maybe then you could say it's not the best idea ever, but it is worth noting that they're already up 93% on market price. And to check if this is true, you look here on TCG Player, they're selling for about $120. In the most recent MSRP, I guess there was some restock this was 3 months ago, so I guess it wasn't that recent, but it was $56. So you add tax, it's probably around $60, so they're pretty much up 100% on their money. You take out the fees, shipping, whatever you sell locally for maybe $100, they're probably up $40 on a $60 investment, which, what is that, like 66%? So, I mean, you could say instantly if they sell right now, they would be better off, I guess, in that way, selling their traditional investment for Pokemon. Long term, maybe it outperforms as well. I mean, they're already up technically 66%, right? If you do the math with the fees. And therefore, I mean, everything now at this point after, you can just say is profit, right? Any dollar more Prismatic Evolutions, this, premium collection box goes up, it's all profit because they've already covered their costs even after fees. So everything is just profit. So I honestly don't think this is the worst thing ever. Prismatic Evolutions, obviously, I really think the set has great long-term potential. So I don't think this was a bad decision, depending on this person's financial situation. But obviously, right now, they could sell basically and make money. You could say maybe at no risk if they just sold everything, and it would be then a good decision. And then if they wanted to, they could buy back into the VOO and just keep their profits they made from Pokemon. You could say that. But long term, I mean, I still think Prismatic, you guys know my standpoint. I think this set is going to perform extremely well. Therefore, I mean, buying this at MSRP which they did, and you could say this were like an evil scalper. They went to every single Sam's Club in their city and took it to invest into. But besides that, I mean, I think it's okay, but it really depends on this person's financial situation. Now, to say, okay, how long to hold onto these? That's such a vague question, right? You could say, well, right now, Prismatic Evolutions, it still could get reprinted many times in the future. Maybe just sell now, take my profits, reinvest back into the VOO, and use my profits and invest that or into other product, or maybe just sell enough of these to cover your cost to buy back into the VOO and then just keep the rest. I mean, you could do whatever you want here. There's really no time frame. I always talk about there's no time frame to hold it. It's up to you. You're already up on your money, so it's just dependent on yourself what you think is going to happen to the set and what you think is going to happen to reprints and those sorts of things. But instantly buying at MSRP, they've already done well, so it's kind of hard to knock this person for selling some of their stuff to buy a product where they're already up like 66% after fees. Now, to say that, this is not a finance channel or anything, but to say that, okay, the VOO is overvalued looking at the PE ratio, and that's the reason why you're selling. I mean, we're not going to get into that topic, I guess, but, I think generally speaking, this was okay to do. But like I said, it really depends on, how much they have in totality, like in terms of investments, because if this was a large portion, you could say maybe this was a risky play. But let's read some of the comments here. Investing is a long-term process. If you sold now, you would be flipping. The rules here is around 5 to 10 years. Okay, I don't agree with this. There's no rule you have to hold 5 to 10 years. That's absolutely ridiculous. There's no rule with that. It's up to you. Technically, long-term investing is only 1 plus over a year. So, if they sold now, they would be flipping, but they would instantly be making money and you could say no risk then. So I don't really agree with this, but yeah, if they sold now, they would be flipping and they would be an evil scalper, but they could flip and make money. Well done. Looks like your investment was a great choice. Personally, I've had less luck with collection boxes. They've always been harder for me to sell. Didn't bring as much profit. About 5 years on both short-term and long-term investing. Stuck with booster boxes. Okay, whatever. You have to hold easily for the next 5 to 10 years. Where is this 5 to 10 years number coming from? To be honest, I don't know why you did that, going from a more stable asset to a super volatile asset, which many others will have to offload in the future. I don't know how long you have been collecting sealed Pokemon, but to liquidate in the future at a high return will not be easy, being that many will be doing the exact same. In my opinion, and again, this is just me, I would have focused on booster boxes rather than collection boxes, which hold no premium or no unique promo. Or I would have just waited on the upcoming collection box, which has 2 unique promo cards. And this person agrees. People treating Pokemon as a retirement fund is a joke. Why is this person on the investing subreddit? So here's what I'm going to say to this. Okay, the whole argument here that everyone's going to be selling in the future, I mean, yeah, obviously, right? I mean, people are always selling everything, right? I mean, people are always selling vintage stuff. People are always selling modern. It's not like people just stop selling. So this is obviously the case that everyone's going to sell. But this, people using this as a tactic to say that Pokemon is not a good investment. I mean, guys, I've sold many, thousands and thousands of dollars of sealed product at once. I've had no issue. Obviously, it's easier in the bull market, but people do make it seem a little bit harder to sell than it is. It really just depends on your pricing and what product you have, and also the market. Personally, this product, is not the best thing ever. This is basically just the Blooming Waters collection box. But hey, they say it's like really risky and it's more volatile, which, Pokemon isn't more volatile than, you can say an ETF, sure, right? But they bought this at a price point which is pretty much likely to never hit market price wise, and therefore, like I said, they're already up 66% of their money after fees. So can you really complain about that? Could it go down further? Maybe, but if you look at the price, of this product as it is and compare it to the loose pack price, it's probably close to where it's probably going to be at the bottom. So I don't think this investment as it is that risky because of the price point they bought it at. If they bought it at market price, I could agree more with the statement. But they bought it at MSRP, so it's kind of hard to argue this was a bad play because they bought it at a price that's probably never going to go to market price wise. But this product, you're talking about liquidity. Yes, it's less liquid than a stock or ETF. It is, but if they sell it at the right price, they'll be able to sell it relatively quickly. It's a good set. So I think some people here, they have valid arguments. That's one thing I'll say. But it's just up to you with risk. But that's all I want to show you guys in this video. You guys can comment down below. What do you think about this? Do you think this was a bad play? Would you agree with it? Like I said, I think it's really circumstantial here with how much money they have in totality and sort of how much they took out relative to what they have. But other than that, what they did here, on paper, even now they could sell and make a profit. I don't see anything that wrong with it. But you guys let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.